Well, I thought it's gonna be easy, but it's a bit more complicated than I expected. Environment variable is where you can store sensitive information that is not supposed to be seen by the users. It could be a folder directory, API key, or database passwords. Now, previously in my videos about building and deploying static website using AI, I mentioned environment variables several times, but I really didn't show you on how you can implement it properly. Environment variable is not just creating a .env file and then calling it a day. It is more complicated than that, and the way you do it really depends on where you are going to deploy the website. So in this video, I'm going to show you perhaps the easiest way to implement environment variables to your website, particularly if you want to deploy it to Netlify. And it is a very important distinction because if you, for example, wanted to deploy the website to Cloudflare Pages or Vercel, then the process would be different. Although I believe you will still learn a thing or two from this video. Anyway, let me show you on how you can deploy and set up environment variables in Netlify. As always, we are not going to write a single line of code. We are going to use AI to do the heavy lifting. Now, let's get into it. Okay, before we start, there are a few things that you need to prepare. First of all, you have to get yourself an AI code editor. I'm going to be using the Windsurf code editor from Codium. You can get this editor by going to codium.com/Windsurf and then you can install it to your computer. I have made a tutorial video about how you can get this software installed on your computer, but this is optional. If you prefer to use a different AI code editor like maybe Cursor AI or VS Code with GitHub Copilot, then you can definitely use that. It's no problem. But most importantly, you have to install Git on your computer. So I don't want to get too much into detail here, but basically this is software that's going to connect the Windsurf code editor to GitHub, and then later we are going to use GitHub to deploy the website to Netlify. Now you can get this software, you can get Git by going to git and then -sem.com/downloads, and you have to select the operating system that you are using, and then you have to install the program on your computer. And it's actually very straightforward. You don't have to change anything during the installation process and just follow the recommended or default settings. Now after that, you have to get yourself the GitHub account. You can do it by going to github.com and then register to GitHub using your email. And the same is true for Netlify. You can go to netlify.com and then create an account for free, and you can use your email, and then later we are going to use Netlify to deploy the website from GitHub to this platform. And also we're going to set up the environment variable in this platform. Now with everything is done, let's start building the application. And for a demonstration, I'm going to be building a simple chatbot powered by Perplexity API. So basically the API key here is the sensitive information that I'm trying to hide. So the website is still working, but the API key will be hidden from the users. It's very, very important, and that's really the point of an environment variable. So this is the Windsurf code editor, and I'm going to open the AI interface called Cascade. I'm going to click on this menu, and I'm going to copy and paste the prompt that I have prepared. I'm going to explain every single line of prompt that I use for this project. So basically, I want to generate a minimalist chatbot powered by the Sonar AI model from Perplexity API. That's really the basic of this application. And then I'm using only HTML, CSS, and vanilla JavaScript. I'm not using any framework, just, the good old JavaScript. And the site would be deployed to Netlify. I just want to clarify to the AI that, hey, this website will be built for Netlify. And after that, I want to store the Perplexity API key to the environment variable. And then lastly, perhaps this is the most important part of the whole prompt, add Netlify functions to handle the environment variable. So if you don't do this, if you don't have this section, there is a good chance that the AI may be assuming the framework. It might be assuming that you are using React.js, for example, and the code and the implementation would be different. So we want to use the serverless function from Netlify called Netlify functions environment variable, and we want to use that so we don't have to set up a backend server to handle this environment variable. So basically, this is the most important part of the whole prompt. Now I'm going to be using the Cloud 3.5 Sonnet because I think it is the best. You can also use other models like DeepSeek R1 and also DeepSeek version 3 or 3 mini, and recently they also added Gemini 2.0 Plus. If you are interested, you can give it a try, but I think Cloud is still better in this case. Now I'm going to send the prompt and just wait for the AI to do all the coding, and then we are going to show you the result. Okay, it's still building the application, and as you can see, it is actually adding a new folder called Netlify functions. This is where the JavaScript function is created. This is very important file. This is what is going to enable the environment variable. Now I'm just waiting until everything is finished. Alright, so as you can see, the files have been created. You can see the structure right here. There are some folders, some files that are created, and I'm going to just click accept all. And by the way, it is also showing me some step-by-step process to implement this, to deploy the website to Netlify. Yeah, you can follow that, but we are not going to follow the step. There is an easier way to do this. Now, before sending this code to GitHub, I'm going to preview it. I just want to know how the website would look. So I'm going to be running a local server. So this is what the website looked like. It's very simple. If I say something like hello, it doesn't say anything, failed to get response, because there is no API key. It is something that we have to add to the environment variable. And in this case, I'm not using an environment variable because this is a simple local server. And that is something that can only be done in Netlify. Now I'm going to close this. So I'm going to stop the server, and I'm going to publish this repository to GitHub. You can click on this icon, source control, and then you can click initialize repository. If you have connected your GitHub account via Git to Windsurf, you should be able to access this menu. Now I'm going to basically stage all the changes. I'm going to click on this button, and after that I'm going to send a message. This is basically just a description about what's going on or what update you have made for this code or for this push to GitHub. I'm going to call it initial commit. That's a standard practice. Now, when you're done, if you're sure that the code is right, you can click commit and then just wait, and then you're going to click publish branch. Okay, that's the name of the application, and if you haven't connect your GitHub account, it's usually going to show you a message if whether or not you want to connect your GitHub account. It's very simple. Just click authorize, and then you should be able to connect your GitHub account to your Windsurf. So if you want to publish a repository, it would be a lot easier. Now I'm going to select GitHub private repository. Let's click on it. Okay, the file is being uploaded, and I'm just waiting until it finishes. Alright, the repository has been uploaded to GitHub. I'm going to open on GitHub. It will show me this page. Basically, this is the repository on my GitHub account. This is the code of the website. Now, let's navigate to Netlify. I'm going to log into my Netlify account, and now I want to create a new website. Let's click add a new site, click import an existing project, and then here I'm going to be selecting GitHub as the source. If you are doing this for the first time, it's going to ask you to authorize the access. Just click authorize, and you should be able to see all the projects from your GitHub account on Netlify, and it will make the deployment a lot easier. I will select Perplexity chatbot, which is the project that I just created on Windsurf. Let's click on it, and I'm going to call this website Perplexity chatbot, and then you can scroll down, and you can ignore these settings. And this is where you can set up your environment variables. Now, if you actually look closely at the instruction from Windsurf, you'll see that we want to add the variable to be, I believe, perplexity underscore API key. Okay, there you go. This is the thing that I have to copy. Let's right click and then copy. And let's go back to the browser. I'm going to add environment variables. I'm going to paste this. By the way, I think it is worth mentioning that if you are using something like React.js, usually you have to add React underscore app underscore. You have to add that before the variable that you are using in your project. So that's if you're using React, but if you're using just the regular vanilla JavaScript, then this is not necessary. Now for the value, of course, I have to put the API key here. So I'm going to be visiting my Perplexity account. Now I'm going to generate a new API key. Okay, there was an error message. I guess I have to refresh the page. Now let's copy the API key. Let's go back to Netlify, and I'm going to just paste this code, and that's basically the API key for this project. Now I'm going to click deploy Perplexity chatbot. This is the name of the website, and we just need to wait until the website is being deployed to Netlify. This is usually will take between 20 seconds up to a few minutes depending on the size of the website. And by the way, you can actually check the process right here. You can see the history of the deployment, and you can tell whether or not the website has been deployed or it's still in the process. Alright, the website has been deployed and the environment variable has been set up. If you just want to confirm that the environment variable has been applied properly, you can always go to the site configuration and then navigate to environment variables right here. You'll see that I have added Perplexity API key. So if you want to change anything, you can always go to this page and then change the value. Now I'm going to preview the website and hopefully the chatbot is working. Let's ask the same message. Hello. Okay, failed to get the response. I don't know what was the problem, but let's check the console and hopefully this has nothing to do with the environment variable. There's an error, cannot read properties of undefined reading. Well, I don't know much about this, but I'm going to copy the error message and I'm going to ask Windsurf to fix the problem. So let's go back to Windsurf again and I'm going to just paste the error message and hit enter. Okay, that's pretty good. It found the problem and now it's implementing the solution. We have to redeploy the website again because of this problem. But fortunately, since we are using Git connected to GitHub, the deployment is going to be a lot easier and faster. Now let's click accept all. I'm going to go to source control again and just stage all changes. And I will describe this as a fix. Let's click commit, sync changes. Click OK and just wait until the code is being uploaded to GitHub. Okay, it has been uploaded to GitHub. Now let's go back to the deployment again. If you actually visit Netlify, you will see that it would deploy the update automatically. You can see that there is a new fix right here. So I'm just waiting until the new version of the website is deployed properly. Okay, now the fix has been deployed. I'm going to reopen this website and hopefully we can get a response from the AI model from Perplexity. I'm going to say hello and hopefully we can get a message. Well, that's pretty good. So this is the answer that was generated by the Perplexity API. So we can confirm that this tool is working and the environment variable is also working properly. There is no need to worry that the user may be able to see the API key because we have stored that safely in the Netlify environment variable. Now, there is something that you need to know. If you, let's say you want to change the environment variable again, you can go to site configuration and let's say you want to change the value or maybe you want to change the API key, you can do it. But after you're done with it, you have to redeploy the website. So go to deploys again and then click trigger deploy and click deploy site. This is very important. Basically, if there's any changes in the environment variable value or the variable, then you have to redeploy the website, even though there's nothing changed on the code, but you have to do this. So that's just one practice that you have to keep in mind. But other than that, that's basically it. That's how you can set up the environment variable properly in Netlify. And if you wish to see more AI coding tutorials like this, then please consider subscribing to this channel because I made a lot of videos about this particular topic. And if you want to create a website that supports the user authentication using SUPA base, then check out this video and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching and take care.